Good morning. What's going on? I have a brand new just chatting filter. I have my webcam set up the proper way. I had my GoPro set up the right way, but I couldn't tell you. Everything's just deciding to do its own thing today, so we're chilling. We're hanging out, you know. Just give me 1 second. I want to make sure that the background noise isn't like too loud, too low, or anything like that. So just give me a second. All right. Sorry about that, guys. So I'm just gonna turn it down a little bit, but I like the peaceful sounds in the background. So what's up, everybody? Today is Fix It Friday. It's been a tough week. It no doubt. This whole month, I feel like, has just been a stressful month in my situation. So, you know, in starting these streams and doing what I'm trying to do with the channel, it's actually been a very productive month. At the same time, it's been a very extremely stressful month. You know, nothing wrong with that. It happens. Things happen. You know, but I found that I needed today to take this time to talk about, you know, mental health and wellness overall. I needed this time to collect myself and collect my thoughts, and that's kind of the purpose behind Fix It Friday. Hold on 1 second. Let me just turn the in here. Do. Yep. Just wanted to unplug the GoPro and make sure that didn't mess with anything. You know, I found a quote by actually Missy Elliott yesterday on Instagram that I thought was a pretty cool quote, and I just wanted to share it on the stream today because I feel like it's quite inspirational. I feel like synchronicity is a full out real thing, and it's important to acknowledge and understand that, you know, the energy that you put out into the universe is the energy that you get back. And that's not going on some supernatural rant. It's not talking about anything crazy that's too hard to wrap your mind around. It's basically just that. The energy that you put out is the energy you're going to get back. And whether you want to look at it as a negative or a positive, you have to kind of take a step outside of yourself and realize, you know, you might think you're putting out the right energy or the right vibes or whatever, when it turns out that you're really not. And it's a sort of awareness that you have to give to yourself, because, like, especially in my case, you know, I've been on a very positive mindset kick when I was starting the stream. I was really, like, looking forward to, you know, I was energized, I was pumped up, I was amped. But I was so laser focused on getting everything started, getting YouTube started, getting, you know, all that stuff going, and pumping out my podcast stuff and getting back into that, getting back into writing. And, you know, it came at a poor time, but it came at a good time to learn a lesson from that. And the lesson was that sometimes you need to push. You need to push hard, and you need to fight for what you dream, you know, for what you're dreaming about, and what you want to accomplish. And the other part of that is sometimes you need to know when it's time to step back from that fight and to let kind of everything pass you by. You know, sometimes, you know, you feel like there's an angry mob coming at you, and you feel like you need to fight off that mob, and you need to take that mob down. And the truth is, sometimes you just need to back away. The mob doesn't see you, and they pass right by. And it's not your fight to get into. It's not your fight to take on at that moment, you know? And it's just a loose example, but I feel like that's accurate for how my life has been going recently. You know, with my mother-in-law's car accident, the illnesses, the sickness, you know, that we're constantly facing with my father-in-law and my mother-in-law. both have various bouts of illnesses and cancers and a whole list of hospitalization issues and like organ transplants and stuff like that. There's like a whole clusterfuck of stuff that's constantly going on, and it's just me being real about it in a way that, like, I kind of put myself aside and was like, oh, not aside. I put myself next to everything. And what I mean by that is I am involved with everything, but I kind of disassociate. I use my ADHD powers of disassociation to help me through these times, because I have the ability to be able to, fully invest myself into whatever I'm going for, into whatever's going on in my life around me at any given time. And sometimes I can invest myself way too much, and I feel like a lot of us can do that without knowing. And the type of people that do this give and give and give and give and give and give, and they're exhausted and they're beaten over the head by life in general because they're so tired and they don't know why. And it's because, you're putting all of this energy out without getting anything, any exchange back. Not even for yourself, but just in general, good vibes or what have you. And I think it's, very important to be able to disconnect yourself from some situations, such as if I was fully 100,000% invested in everything that goes on in my everyday home life. It's almost like I operate mostly on autopilot in some ways to keep my sanity together, because there's a lot that goes on. And for somebody like me who's ADHD, have a hard time paying attention to things, OCD, ADD mixed in as well, hard time paying attention to a lot or keeping track of a lot of details, and it's just so much of a mess everywhere. I feel like we're not necessarily a physical mess, although there is that, but also just disarray, disorganization, and for somebody like me, it gets magnified because I'm not like the average person. Like, it's hard to put into words exactly, but it's magnified in the way that I need routine. I need routine to keep me on task. And I don't mean strictly live my life by a routine, because that's not great either. Some people need that, and that's fine. But what I'm saying is, sometimes you need flexibility as well, But I need every once in a while, like, I feel like this month has been relentless. I feel like there's been no routine. You see it with my stream schedule where I've had to switch up streams and kind of, just stream where I can in the day and stuff like that. And yeah, it happens, but it's there's so many moving pieces and there's so many different parts to everything that's going on that it makes it feel like I'm just fighting an uphill losing battle, and it's stressful. I had like a kind of mental breakdown about it last weekend, and I had to take some time off of work because of it. And just a lot was getting to me. I'm not in a situation where I can pull back in a normal way and get a break from everything like I need to. But one thing that I held on to through this entire time, and it's from the days of my coaching, it's from my upbringing. I was kind of brought up to be like, oh, you're supposed to be a man, you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to be able to shoulder everything and just get through it and whatever. And I don't agree with that, but a certain aspect of it I do, if you will. I'm not a typical person. I used to follow those beliefs about manliness and what a man's supposed to be in today's society. And I feel like that's a broken stigma. I feel like there's a lot of issues with that in general. But the part of it that I do agree with is what I'm going to quote right here, if I can find where I saved it to. Uh-oh. Let's see. I don't remember where I actually saved it to. Oops. horizontal lines. Tap saved. Tap all close. Let's see. Oh, there it is. I looked right past it. So I saw this the other day from Missy Elliott. If you want to see it, I don't know how well you can see it. I have my light right there. Don't be discouraged when you see someone else's success. Everyone's path is different. You may run into traffic, but you don't stop driving. You keep going until you get to your destination. Remember, no one can block you from what is already written for you. Keep going. It's part of it. And the other part is you may be feeling a little depressed because everything you've been trying to do is taking so long to happen. Don't give up on your ideas or your vision. Just keep working, and when the time is right, everything will align up for you, and you will be happy you didn't give up. That's 100%, as you can see from the account on top, Missy Elliott. I don't know if it's mirroring, so I apologize if it is. This webcam takes a long time to keep up. But that was very important for me to read at the time that I read it. You know, and I know that the path that I'm on is the path that's meant for me. I know that what I'm doing is the right things, and I know that if I keep persisting, it will happen. And that's the part of the whole masculinity thing that I agree with. It's not particular to that. It's particular to everybody in general. You know, I don't feel as though you should give up on your dreams. I feel like you should keep fighting for your dreams at all times. And it's kind of confusing when you hear me say, fight, 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 fight. And then you hear me say, but take a step back when you need to. Take a step back when you need to. And I think what people need to kind of see it as is more of a dance rather than a fight. Sometimes you're leading, sometimes you're being led. Sometimes you get dipped, sometimes you dip, sometimes you duck and spin, sometimes you realign, recoordinate, sometimes you fall, and sometimes you get back up. You know, and I think that's important to remember in just anything that you try to do in life in general. I think it's very, very important to remember that and to follow that. You know, nobody's superhuman, yet we all are at the same time. And that's the thing about like the practice that I partake in, and the like what my actual job is as a integrative nutrition health coach. The word nutrition throws a lot of people off, but integrative nutrition means nutrition for the mind, the body, and the soul. It's not just what you put in your body, what you eat, whatever. It's what you put in your mind. It's what you put in your soul, in your body. It's what you put out from your body, from your soul, from your mind. You know, and I think people often see it as either struggle or non-struggle, and that's just not the case. Sometimes there's a perfect balance of struggle and non-struggling at the same time. And that's when people start to lose their minds about stuff. That's when people really start to think, like, what is happening? What is going on in my life right now? That's what's happening. You're trying to establish your balance in life. And that's kind of the resulting effect is that, you know, you get that kind of discombobulated thing, and that's there as a means to test you. That's there as a means to, say to you, is this what you really want? Is this what you want to do? Is this what you want to fight for? Do you feel like you're justified in fighting for this? Do you feel like it's something that you're meant to be doing? And if it is, go for it. Go for it. But there's also, a strategic way to win these quote-unquote battles. There's a strategic way to get your goals, And sometimes it's not always what you like. Sometimes it's not always what you think you need in a moment. Sometimes it's not always, what you want to happen right this second. Sometimes it's just not that. Sometimes you have to struggle. Sometimes you have to suffer a little bit. And you know when that's worth it for you. You know when that's not worth it for you, But I think it's important for people to hear stuff like this and to really take into account, like, what's going on that... Sorry, I'm just trying to see if I can color balance this a little bit. I get very distracted at stuff like that. It's very easy to fall into the misery cycle over this stuff. It's very easy to be like, oh my God, it hasn't been working. It's been 2-3 weeks. It's been a month. It's been 6 months. It's been a year, and it's just not coming through. When some people don't realize that things you're after, you have to give like a real attainable time frame. And I know people hear smart all the time, smart goals, smart goals. But especially in my case, when I try to accomplish so much all at the same time, because that's just how I am. That's the key behind Polymathic Dad, is that, you know, I have multiple areas of interest and areas of expertise and areas of knowledge that I draw from, to whether it's to solve a problem or whether it's to hold on one second, sorry. Sorry, my son seemed to be like rolling around, so I didn't know what he was doing. I have multiple areas of expertise where I draw from to help solve problems and to help accomplish things. And you know, I was being told by business coaches a lot that, oh, you have to do things this way, you have to do things this way, you have to focus on one particular area, you have to. And for me, especially being from like an ADHD mindset, for me it gets very confusing with stuff like that, because I can't do that. I can't just, I feel like it's pigeonholing myself almost, where I can't, you know, I need an outlet for everything that's going on. I need, you know, to feel like I have that, those things like accomplished or in process or whatever. Like I feel like I have the potential to be, you know, doing so many different things and not just staying in one lane. For example, and I'm not comparing myself when I bring this stuff up, but for example, The Rock. You know, The Rock has been everything from a wrestler to a liquor distributor slash, you know, owning his own tequila company, to an actor, to, you know, I think he was producing. I think he's done music and stuff like that before. And, you know, you like, I like checking up on him on social media every once in a while, just to see what he's going to come out with next. You know, he's been working with Under Armour for, I think, I want to say since like 2011, 2012, somewhere in there. And everything from cell phone apps to gym gear to water bottles to just things that, you know, come up in his mind, and he's like, hey, and now he's got like his own all natural energy drink and stuff like that. And, you know, like, people can say, oh yeah, he's rich, he can do what he wants, and sure, that's a little bit true, but, you know, he also drives. He drives hard. You know, he knows when to take a step back and sip some tequila and just relax and just, you know, hang out and be him. He takes his cheat meal days. You know, he posts about that on his social medias, and it's, you know, kind of funny to see him sitting around these big old plates of brownies and cookies and stuff, because he goes in. That man needs some calories, but you know, he gets up every day at 5 a.m. He gets maybe 4 or 5 hours of sleep. That's by his choice. That's his routine. If that works for him, then that works for him, you know? Who knows if he takes naps? Who knows? That's irrelevant. The fact is, he's finding a way to get his balance, to get everything he wants to get accomplished. And some people just can't be held back into one avenue, you know what I mean? And, you know, this, I think it's very important to, you know, take advice, take in words of knowledge from everybody, take in whatever you want, but just remember that everybody gives advice from their perspective, you know? Excuse me. For those who aren't, you know, that in tune with themselves, they're not going to give you advice that really matters. Not that really matters, I shouldn't say that. They're not going to give you advice that really makes sense for you. Those who, you know, take a look at who you have advice from. You know, like through my training with integrative nutrition, it's pretty common that people with imbalances in their lives have other issues that happen. They have mental issues of some sort, or they have, a lot of confusion, not feeling in control, not feeling evened out at all. There's a lot of physical stuff. There's a lot of spiritual stuff. IBS and stress-related digestion issues. Excuse me, I got the hiccups. And just things that your body are telling you that is going wrong in your life, and you don't realize that that's your body's response to that stressor. And even spiritually, I've seen it where people are at war with themselves because of something their spiritual practices taught them that didn't work for them. And the thing is, you have to really look at the source of where you're getting your information from and what's going on, and go from there. See if that's something you feel is right for you, then it might be. It might be something you have to listen to. But if you don't, then there's no shame in just thank you very much, I appreciate that, and then just move along. Move along with your time. I just want to see if I can take. I keep messing with this, and I don't want to keep messing with this, but I feel like I'm close to figuring out what this color situation is with my my webcam. That's that. There we go. Filters. So I feel like it's just very red right now. Oh, there's that. Nope. Oh, we can make the microphone disappear, and I can talk into the trees behind me. I don't want to. I feel like that actually evens it out a little bit. Makes it look kind of pale, but like everything I'm wearing is a little off and whatever. But yeah, so this isn't all about me. This stream is also about what you guys are experiencing, what you guys are going through in your everyday lives, and what you're going to do to accomplish your goals. So I would definitely like to hear from whoever is deciding to come by and chat it up. So feel free to share if you're lurking, if you're in the background somewhere, or just checking in. Check in and say hi, and we'll go from there. You might be able to hear my son kind of talking to himself in the background. So my kids were sick. We have had fevers and temps and stuff like that going back and forth since last weekend. Right as I was kind of getting my mental stuff together, my oldest son Michael started feeling ill, and he I don't think he had like a fever. He had like a mild fever, like very low. And he I just had to make sure he wasn't doing anything. He wasn't feeling well, but I think it was just his allergies were kicking up. He doesn't have like official allergies, but like when the seasons change or the weather's out of control, it's you can see it. So there's that. And then my middle son Philip, he caught a bug. I don't know if it's from school or if it's from like something Michael was able to fight off and Philip wasn't. He he has a temp going back and forth, and he has a bunch of stuff going on. He's very phlegmy and whatnot. And my daughter Mila had recently caught a fever. Has been spiking up and down a couple of times, but she has an ear infection amongst a cold. So it's been hitting them all hard all week, and it's been just a very stressful week. There's not been much time for calmness and peace. My mother-in-law has also found out that she's not able to go back to work because of the accident. She had a really bad concussion, and she was seeing, I forgot what it's called. She has to go through like vestibular therapy and things like that, and she has to address some things that are still throwing her off from an accident that happened 2 weeks ago. So, um, overall she's happy and healthy, but well, healthy besides her health concerns, but um, yeah, that's still something she's going through. She's not able to drive. She's not able to do a lot of things for 2 weeks, so it's been stressful for her as well. And yeah, it's just been a roller coaster ride this month. I feel like a lot of people have been going through things this month, and that's why I wanted to make sure I took this time to just kind of share and just kind of see where everybody's at with stuff. But I can tell you that one thing that I've immediately noticed that I need to change about what I'm doing in my situation is I need to change my perspective. Because with my stuff not being able to get a break and not being able to uh, really get a whole lot of rest in, I stay at home during the week, and I work at a animal ER on the weekends. And so the weekends are pretty much crossed off. Like I go to bed, I wake up, I go to work, come home, go to bed, wake up, go to work. And I do that Friday night. Like tonight, I'll sleep for, I don't know, whenever the kids go in for their afternoon nap. I will go to sleep. My wife usually gets home, and then I'll go into work for 8 o'clock tonight, and then I'll get home at 8 o'clock in the morning, shower, sleep, go to work, come home. What are we on? Sunday? Yeah, shower, sleep, Saturday night into Sunday, do it again Sunday, go into work, and then when I come out of work Monday, I usually don't take a nap. I usually get right into like my workout routine and streaming and getting stuff together for the week. And then towards the afternoon, I'll sleep for a while. And that's just kind of like a balance that I've struck. But forgot where I was going with that. But so my weekends are pretty crossed off. I do try to get some things done while I'm at work, like if I'm on break or if there's some downtime for any reason. I'll bring my notebooks. I have a couple of little pocket-sized notebooks that I bring along with me. These are handy. These are durable. I got these cool little pens to go with them. But I have different things that I do to kind of help me through these situations while I'm busy. And one of those things is to write down like what I'm planning for the week, if I'm going to do media content or whatever, to plan it out, to plan out what I want to talk about in my streams, to plan out what I want to talk about in my podcast, to plan out any business changes I want to make or anything like that. And I think this week is going to be mainly scheduling, to revamp my schedule so that I can kind of optimize my time a little bit better. So that's going to be my goal after using the notebooks for the weekend. And yeah, besides that, I mean, I got a lot done this week, regardless of how much time was taken up, with helping my kids out and, doing all the stuff. Like people forget that I say that, like, oh, my kids spiked the temp or whatever. But like multiple times this week, that meant 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. We had to get up, take their temps, give them meds. At one point, my daughter had to go into the bathtub because her temp was 103.8, almost 104. And that was one of the things that the doctor had told us to do, because she's still she's 1 and 10 months, so she's almost 2. 10 months? January, December, November, October. It's almost October, so whatever. 1 year and 9 months, whatever. But yeah, so the doctor said whenever her fever gets high, like, or whenever any of the kids' fevers get high like that, like throw them in a warm bath, and let them sit in there, let them get the steam in them, let them It'll help with breaking up mucus and stuff like that, but also it calms your body down. Helps for people too. So if you have a fever and you just want to take like a good warm bath or a hot bath, everybody thinks to go cold, but that's not the truth. Where you do go cold is you use like a cold compress on your head, or a little bit maybe on your upper body, but like you want to keep your lower body warm. But you just don't want to cook yourself. That's the only thing. So make sure it's not too hot. But yeah, so that's helped us avoid a lot of hospital trips. The time when you do go to the hospital is when you cannot get that fever under control. Like my daughter, when she spiked to 103.8, I put her in a bathtub for about a half hour or so, 20 minutes maybe, and I gave her Tylenol before that, and I got it under control via giving her the bath. The bath brought it down. The Tylenol then had a chance to kick in and take over. So she leveled out the night at about 102. For the rest of the night. We had to keep checking on her every couple of hours, but people don't realize that's what you mean when your kids are sick. It's not just like, oh, your kids are sick, they're going to sleep good. That's rarely the case. You have to get up every couple of hours. You got to check on them. You got to make sure things aren't going to get worse, because before you know it, something could go wrong and you could be at 104.7, 105, and that's not good. But part of the adventure. Yeah. So one of my Fix It Friday tips that I was going to talk about was changing my mindset, like I had said before. And I feel like my webcam is like curved weirdly or something. Maybe that's a little bit better. Is changing my outlook. Like I was starting to actually get into a negative space where I was like, oh, when is this gonna stop? Like, when is it just gonna stop steamrolling us? Because me and my wife are exhausted. We've been through a lot with everything that's going on, and it's everything out of our control, and it's everything in our control, and it's just you gotta we've worked out this balance that we've had going for a long time, which we knew wasn't working right for us. So we've been in the process of like trying to fix it and trying to re-coordinate things and whatever. And it's happening. It's happening slowly, but it's happening. And but we were just both starting to get very exhausted and very beat down, And it's easy to fall into that mindset of, oh, everything just sucks right now. Like, what's going on? Why is this happening to me? And blah, 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 blah. And once you get to that level, it's really important to acknowledge it and move past it. Because the longer you're in that why is this happening to me stage, the more miserable you're going to be. The more depressed you're going to be. And it sounds scary and it sounds tedious, and it's honestly really not. It takes a little bit of practice, takes a little bit of training, but I've been able to get myself into this thing where, like, I just sent, my wife was like, I really wish that you could have gotten more sleep. I look like hell today. I know I do. But hey, it is what it is. I got some chance to work on some stuff that I wanted to do last night. I had a couple of sips of tequila. I slept pretty good. I'm going to sleep good when I take a nap this afternoon, and that's just what it is, and I feel like if I stay in the mindset of like, oh my God, when is this all gonna end? It's just gonna be a self-feeding cycle, and I think that's what happened to me last weekend. Is I didn't catch myself from falling into that cycle. What I always recommend is like, what I've done this week is starting the meditations. I plan on ending the stream on the Playne meditation game again. I really like that. I really like it as it's a quick thing. You don't have to do more than 2, 4, 5 minutes if you want. I do 10, but you can go longer than that if you want to, but it's pretty cool. But doing the meditations and just getting that time where like last night I did not feel well. I wanted to go to bed early, and I just wanted to just lay down. I have like weird seasonal allergies, and the weather here is crazier than the weather from where I grew up. So like every season is a struggle for me when the seasons change. But you know, I just do what I can to support myself. You know, my mentality is through meditation and just um, giving myself opportunities. Like a couple times this week, I was gonna stream when I played games with my friends, and you know, I didn't do that, and I'm thankful I didn't. And you know, I love streaming. I want to be on stream as much as possible. I want to get exposure. I want to get, you know, to be able to help people and be able to help give a community to people and things like that. But you know, in these instances, I needed just that time. I needed that time with friends, away from kids, away from, you know, everybody in my personal life, and to just hang out with friends. And that's what we did, you know. And last night I was glad I didn't fall asleep. You know, I had a little cup of coffee right after dinner, and then you know, I poured myself a glass of tequila, and then I just sat back and I did some edits, and I did some, you know, some things, and I'm very proud of what I did, and I'm very proud and happy that I did it. And just that, getting that accomplished, made me feel good. You know, this backdrop that I'm using now is one thing that I set up, and it's not perfect, but I like it. That's the important part. I like the sound of the crackling fire. I like the scenery in the background and stuff like that, and yeah, I think it works well. But you know, just take the good with the bad. There might be 50,000 bad, but you need to take that one good. And I've said that before. You need to take that one good positive thing and really run with that, you know? Like, I'm proud of what I did here. It might look beginner to somebody, but I really don't care. It's my thing. And I made that, and it looks great, and it sounds great, and it's working, you know? I like that. So, you know, it made me happy doing that. And I felt defeated at one point a couple of days ago because I looked on YouTube with some video clips that I uploaded. I always upload my streams, like my unedited streams, to YouTube, like immediately after I do them, given time. Like if I don't have time to sit there and let it upload for an hour, then I just don't have that time. But I usually do it immediately, and then you know, I'll edit it when I get the opportunity to, and put up, like, you know, gameplay clips separate from mental health streams and stuff like that, and just try to, you know, get that stuff a little bit organized. But a bunch of my videos were copyright claimed because of the opening and closing credits that I was using. And now I use my wife is called the Canva Queen. I've talked about her on stream a couple days ago. I have her credits on my About Me page. It's under, I think it's under, it says, do you need a virtual assistant? And what she does as a virtual assistant is she helps design graphics for you. She helps design, you know, these backgrounds, or, you know, like if you're a social seller, or if you are like an influencer, she'll give you like media to work with, you know. And she'll help you organize your business. She'll help you plan out like a routine and plan out things, you know. And she loves doing it. It's great. If you need her help, click that link. It'll bring you to her Instagram and then to her link tree. But yeah, so she teaches me a lot about Canva, and then I carry that on my own. So I design most of the things that I do here on Canva. So my son's getting his toys. So, you know, like the music that I was using for my opening and closing stream clips, stream scenes, or whatever you want to call them, I found out that the music is copyrighted, and I didn't know that. I thought it was through Canva. It says on their webpage that all their stuff is free to use, but some of it has very particular things to it. So without skipping a beat last night, I was all like, oh my God, what do I do? You know, and what I did was I decided to just take that hit right now. The videos that were already uploaded to YouTube, I just used, YouTube has a fabulous thing where if you do get a copyright claim, you have the option to just replace the audio in the clip, which is pretty cool, especially because it was just the beginning and end of those clips. So I replaced it with something that YouTube said that I could use, and I just ran with that. And I was like, whatever, it might not be great, but at least I don't have to download the videos, re-edit them, upload them again, and go through all this crazy stuff, because I don't have that time. I do not have that time. And then my wife shot me the idea. I was like, so what do I do for my streams now? Like, now I have to go through and email Canva and see what I can use and blah, 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 blah. And my wife had reminded me that I downloaded through Humble Bundle. There was an audio clip like super pack bundle that I bought. Humble Bundle, by the way, is a fabulous, fabulous service. I want to see if I can be sponsored by them at some point, because they are awesome. They are fucking awesome. They will bundle these games or software or books, either, you know, e-books or digital or like audiobooks or whatever. They have thousands of different bundles all the time. And what they do is they put it up for a price, and it's tiered. So for the first tier, it's probably like $5. For the second tier, it's the $5 plus, like if you pay $10, you get the $5 stuff plus the $10 stuff, whatever. So you go all the way to $25 is their like usual maximum. You can volunteer more than the $25, but whatever. $25, you unlock everything. And then so I bought like you know, like video editing software, and I bought like all this like video game bundles and stuff like that. And you know, one of the bundles that I bought was a completely DMC license free to use, everything, nothing. You don't have to worry about anything. I double checked it last night. I made sure everything was good, and I started using that and I pieced together new clips for the beginning and ending of my stream. And you know, that was my wife's idea. She said, well, what about those royalty-free music things, those DMC-free music clips that you got? Like, what about those? And I was like, oh, man, you know? And that's, you know, that's a lesser version of what me and my wife do, really, because you guys, like, sorry, got a little frog in my throat. Because people, you know, don't often see what the value of having like a coach is, for a business coach or a health coach or wellness, spiritual guidance, whatever. They don't see the value behind it because they're like, well, we know all this stuff. And the thing is, you might know it, but what you don't know is something that's outside of your own perspective. That's generally what you don't know. Whether it's one little thing, or whether it's, you know, this one little thing that leads into this whole big thing. Like, that's our job, to help you find that, because we are outside perspectives. That's also the main reason why we will give each other tips, me and my wife, but we won't give each other our services, if that makes any sense. Because there's, you know, such a thing as being too close to a situation where, you know, we often share the same opinions and the same mindset. So, like, once in a while, we'll offer each other little gems, but we won't go deeper than that. Because, you know, we're too close to the situation. It's easy to take that stuff passionately, you know, and have get a little bit too deep, and then when something doesn't go right, it becomes a problem, you know. But so she gave me this idea to use these clips that I got, and that I purchased the license to, and you know, I used them, and everything I think is turning out great, you know. I also was able to put some music on my Be Right Back screen, which I feel like I needed to a while ago. But I thought I did at one point, but I just forgot. So, whatever. So that's a part of, you know, doing things to feel better. You know, doing things that will help you feel better about yourself. Accomplishing even the smallest of tasks will get those small tasks out of the way. And what, like, my integrative nutrition school had a program called Big Rocks, they called it. And it's basically, if you like envisioned a vase or a vase, whatever you want to call it. If you envision like a vase or a container of some type, and you have you have like stones, pebbles, dirt, and sand, and then you have these big rocks, you know, that you have to fit everything in there. If you put the stone, pebbles, and all the small rocks in there first, then most likely you're not going to fit everything in. But if you fit the big pebbles in there first, everything else will fill in between. And then you can pick out the little things that don't matter and then get rid of them, you know? And it's a good analogy, but I also think it works good in the other sense of the analogy too, where if you have to empty that container out and get those things taken care of, then you can't always just dig right down to the big rocks. Sometimes you have to move some of the important pebbles out of the way or scoop some of the sand out, you know? So it's my way of saying, like, yes, get the big things done first if you can. Get the big things out of the way, the big issues. But also don't underestimate the power of those little things. You know, don't underestimate those, but just don't obsess over them. So that's what I was doing. I was kind of just, I was actually ignoring a lot of the big things because I've been so focused on fitting all of the big things into the jar that when it came time to empty everything out, it was just, I was like, I can't reach all these big things, you know, I can't get down to them. So I was just plucking off pieces, scooping out some dirt, and then moving things around a little bit, shaking things up, you know? And I feel more accomplished today. I feel like I'm ready to go back to work and function as a human being where I wasn't last week, and ready to refocus and regain control, you know? Hold on one second. He's cute. Whoa. Need some oil on that. He's adorable. He's trying to get my attention, so he's yelling stuff about Polar Express. But he's taking this time to just play in his room and relax, and it's good time for him. It's good time for me, you know. And his sister's sleeping, so I don't really want him running around the house right now. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Like I said, I have seasonal allergies. So, yeah, you know, taking these small steps and doing things to get yourself just in a better mindset is very important. That becomes a big rock, even if it's the smallest thing. If it's organizing my desk, which desperately needs it, but if it's organizing my desk, and that's the only thing I do, that one seemingly small task can elevate my mood so much, you know? And it's important to not overlook that stuff. If it's like, oh, you know, like I need to reorganize my pens, maybe not such a big deal. But reorganizing my desk, make me feel lighter, make me feel like my surroundings aren't so cluttered, make me feel good, you know? And that's the important part, especially when you're having such a rough time. The other thing is, like I said before, don't forget to meditate. That stuff's good for your visual, for your outside, for your productivity, for getting inside your brain a little bit and clearing out the cobwebs almost. Writing's very important. Meditating's very important. All of that contributes very much to clearing out your head. I like the term clearing out the cobwebs because you really need to. Like, those cobwebs can become so thick and so dense you can't move through them, you know? And I think it's important not to ignore them. So even if it's just jotting something down and then forgetting it's there, it's out of your brain. That's the key. It's out of your brain. I tell a lot of people with ADHD or you know, various other you know, issues with paying attention or sitting still, and I was like, you know, I'll be like, I understand you're going through this. get up, walk around, bring a book with you to write in, because everything that's going on in your mind, eventually you're going to realize that there comes a stop, and you're going to sit down, or you're going to like take a break from what you're doing and be like, whew, okay, that does feel better, you know. Sometimes it's a struggle, and I understand that more than anybody else. I understand that, but it helps regardless. It helps a lot. And I never used to be a big journaler. Never. Now I have like a calendar that goes everywhere with me. I have like a personal 100% my thoughts journal, and I have a business book, and I have a personal book of things that I want to work on and progress with, you know. And yeah, so that's important. And so what else I do is I really take care of my physical body. Now, there's two sides to this, because I am one of those health coaches that will say, listen, eat. Don't skip eating, don't stop eating, don't slow down, don't, you know, whatever. You know what you need to do, and you can take it from there. If you feel like you're overindulging, there's a difference between not eating and eating correctly. You know what I mean? So eat, always. But like in my case, I'm like, you know what, this week I'm on a level where like I really, whatever, man, I needed some treats, I needed some sugar, I needed something, you know. And I always give myself a little something. Like I have a weakness for carby treats. And it's fine, but when that's like becomes my diet is where I have issues, you know, with my health, obviously. And I do it during times of stress. I eat more of this like garbagey stuff, and then, you know, there's a whole bunch of scientific stuff behind it that I won't dive too far into, but basically sugar helps breed bad cells in your body. And I'm not talking necessarily all sugars, but I am talking in excess of sugars. So the sugar helps breed a lot of bad cells in your body, and kind of gets them to replicate, and that counts for sick cells as well. And I notice that's when my allergies flare up harder. That's when I start getting stuffy noses, and, you know, my stomach is a little bit more off and things like that. And so especially with my kids being so sick this week, I did a lot to support myself. So I gave myself those treats because it's stress relief, right? And it's, you know, maybe I overdid it a little bit, like I wasn't comfortable with the amount, so I pulled it back where I felt I needed to. But I let myself have those treats in the first place. And you know, to help support my body through this, because I'm not used to eating like that. I don't, you know, I'm not saying to give in to emotional eating or anything like that, but I'm saying be present with yourself and understand why you're doing it. And that's still something I'm learning, but it's something I'm so deep into where I'm willing to let myself be like, hey, no, I earned this. I'm okay with this. I'm making the choice to do this. And I do the same thing with alcohol too. It was, you know, that's can still be a struggle for me. Like I was never like an alcoholic by regular standards, I guess. But in my own mind, I was indulging way too much, way too often. And, you know, it might have been that I only drank once a weekend. But to me, that was, why do I need to drink once a weekend? You know, why do I need to do this? I'm very firm on the thought of, I don't care if you smoke pot. I don't care if you drink. I don't care if you do any of that stuff. That's on you, and I'm not against any of that. What I am against is having to live your life according to that. And it's one thing to use it for like medicinal purposes, like if it's something that helps you survive and live every day and helps you therapeutically, then that is what it is. That's what works for you, and that's important. But for me, I don't want to have to rely on anything. It drives me nuts, quote unquote, needing a cup of coffee every morning, or quote unquote needing 2 cups, one in the morning, one in the afternoon. And I've tried talking myself into it, excuse me, with how therapeutic it is and things like that. And, you know, like the truth be told, with my ADHD, I've talked about it before, I get like adverse effects from it. So it might even put me to sleep if I have enough. But it relaxes me. It calms me down. And it gives me like maybe sometimes a little energy boost, but I feel like it helps activate me. It helps start my lower digestive processes, and I feel like it gets a lot of that regulated. But I want to break myself from it because I don't like that. I need it. So, to go back to where all this started from, I let myself indulge in things that I feel like I've earned. And I don't think that's a bad way to look at it, because I feel like people don't feel like they earn the things that they indulge with, and then they overindulge because now they're dealing with extra emotions. As opposed to if you're sitting there eating a donut or a cookie or whatever, a handful of candy or a bag of candy or a bag of chips, be present with your emotions as to why you're eating those, and be honest about it. Don't be, oh, I'm eating these because I'm a fat fuck and I don't, want to do this, and I feel like I'm useless and whatever. Don't just cross yourself off like that. Hey, I'm eating these because I love the taste of salt and vinegar, or I love the just feeling free enough to eat a freaking potato chip or a french fry once in a while. Stuff like that is so important because it empowers you to understand why you want it in the first place. And then with a lot of things that I've done this with, I've gotten to the point where I'm like, I don't really want it. Like, I don't want it only because, like, I found it best in this analogy. When I think of a McDonald's cheeseburger, for example, or I'll say most fast food, but not all. If I find this with a McDonald's cheeseburger, I don't remember the taste of it. And so one of my instructors had asked me to try to think of the taste of something. It was like low-grade fast food or whatever. And I thought about it, and I was like, wow. Like, I know I've eaten it, but I just can't recall a taste of it. But then he goes, now think of like really good vegetables, or like a really good salad, or like a really great steak that you've had, or like now think of like a really good cheeseburger that you've had, and compare it to the flavor profile that you remember from the fast food, from the junky stuff. And I was like, oh my god. And that really changed a lot of my eating habits, because I'm like, why do I eat this if I don't even remember what it tastes like? Like, I want to remember my food. I want to experience what I eat and what I put in my body, And that was a big important thing for me. And now I'm saying this, and I love, say, Chick-fil-A spicy sandwiches with the Chick-fil-A sauce. Like, I think that's good. I remember the flavors. I remember that. And I don't eat it a ton of times. I don't eat it a lot. But I do eat it. And I do remember the flavor, and I do remember that. But like McDonald's cheeseburgers, no, I wrote that off. There's certain cakes and cookies and pastries and junk food that I used to eat that I'm like, oh, I don't even remember. I don't remember the flavor of it, Even like sodas, like, I remember like a certain spice to the soda flavor, but like I don't remember much else besides that, I remember like the feeling on my teeth. It used to make my teeth feel kind of grainy and bitter, and then just, like, I don't know. I really grew to not enjoy soda at all. And, it's not like, this is my relating to everybody being like, not all health food is going to be great, and not all junk food is going to be great either, Excuse me. But appreciate and enjoy what you are eating. That's my point. And I did. Like, last night, I definitely wanted to overindulge in tequila. I love tequila. I am a big tequila fan. I love it. But last night, I was sitting there sipping on it, and I don't even think I felt anything from it. I just was focused on my stream stuff, and I just was relaxed. And it was a good time, Nothing more than that. And does that mean I'm going to go back to it, the next time I get the opportunity? I used to do that at one point. You know, like if it was a weekend, if I wasn't working, you know, I'd grab a drink, and then I'd be like, oh, you know what? I really want more of that. Well, I'll have more, you know. And last night, like, I kind of had that thought process. Excuse me. But at the same time, I was like, yeah, but I'm gonna wake up feeling like junk. I have to check on the kids. You know, I have to do all this other stuff, and I really just want to go to sleep after this. I want to just enjoy what I'm experiencing right now and just whatever, man, go to sleep, you know. And it sounds kind of whatever, but it's a new level of respect for yourself when you give yourself these opportunities to get these treats in and not say no to yourself. Excuse me. There it is again. That squeak. But that's an important thing. You know, it's good for your mentality. It's good for your emotions. Certain emotions have certain hormonal responses, and certain foods can interact with those hormonal responses. Having deeper knowledge of that, I understand what's going on in that situation, and I can also use things to address that. Like sometimes if you're craving sugar, you're not really craving sugar, and not many people know that. But it's in those instances where you'll like down a whole bottle of juice and like want candy or want, you know, just whatever sugar is in your mind, you want it and you can't get enough of it, you know. There's instances like that, and it's when your body's craving something completely different. And knowing that gives me a lot of tools to be like, okay, like if I pick up something and I eat it and it's a treat or whatever, and I'm like, that didn't satisfy me, I have the ability to look back and be like, okay, so is that what I want? Do I want another one? Or do I want something to satisfy another need inside of my body? You know what I mean? And it comes in handy being able to do that. You know, I noticed, like I said before, that when I eat a lot of... I hear something getting staticky. I noticed that inside my body when I eat a lot of sugary stuff is when I start feeling ill. And like I said, my immune responses kick up and my allergies act up and stuff like that. So I also do a lot of things to help support my body through that, especially when surrounded by so much illness. You know, I'll take like immunity boosting supplements, or, you know, like they'll always be natural and organic. I don't believe in like, you know, taking medicine to really help stop a lot of stuff. The only medicine I will take is I will take like Advil, and I will take Allegra, just to help with my headaches and my focus, and to help with my like my allergies when they flare up really hard. Because sometimes you can't stop that immune response without some help. He's playing on his bed. They're cute. But yeah, so I take like you know, organic supplements, especially on weeks like this week. I really pushed hard to work out, and that's not, a lot of people don't realize too, like that's good for getting your body up and running, and, you know, having it fight your battles, your immunity battles and stuff like that. But it can also overtax your body too, especially in the situation where I'm in, where my digestion is off because of how much stress is going on inside the house. And I'm also putting additional stress on my body now, exercising every day, because I don't want to give that up. That makes me feel good. That works for me. And I know even if I don't feel like doing it in the moment, I'm going to feel 100 times better after the fact. I know that, so I don't give that up. Even on days where I don't sleep that well, I try to get something in. So I'll support myself by giving myself like immunity supplements or something like that to help me recover from that workout, to help my body, you know, fight off whatever it might be fighting off without me even realizing it, you know. And I like this past week especially, I've drank a lot of kombucha because, like I said, with the amount of stress and the lack of sleep, it throws off your digestion, it throws off so many things. And you know, the kombucha just kind of helps keep everything regulated. And, you know, I've really learned through my studies to you know, to wean myself off of like having to take probiotics every single day. and how to use probiotics therapeutically to get myself back on my proper balance, you know. So I do a lot of that. I take care of my body. I take care of my mind. And where I don't take care of my body, I really try to balance it out and make it, you know, and give myself those good positive sides to help it, because it is all about balance. People will tell you, well, you know, you're stressing your body out more by incorporating alcohol. Okay, so throw in some activated charcoal. It absorbs some of the alcohol. It takes some of the poison out of your system. Drink extra water. It helps your body flush it out. It helps your liver process everything. You know, it helps your kidneys process stuff. And there's ways to balance it out where it's like, okay, you know, maybe if you ate 8 bags of candy and then you went to have a salad for lunch, that's not proper balance. But stuff like that where like you had a little bit here, now you're trying to make up for it a little bit there, that's fine. You know, the French fries you ate a couple of days ago, you're not going to run it off by waiting 5 days and then going to the gym and running it off those 5 days. That's not the type of balance I'm talking about. Consistency, keeping things as on target, as on task as you possibly can, as on schedule as you possibly can, is very important too. What I could control, I did control within reason. You know, if I didn't care to control it, I just didn't do it. But what I could control, I did, because this week, this past 2 weeks, this month has been so far out of my realm of control. The things I could like keep track of and keep stable, I did. There's a situation yesterday where like my wife was like, oh, I want to clean, you know, downstairs tomorrow while I'm home and whatever. And I was like, that's cool, but at this time I am getting my stream in. And that, like, I was fighting for that. I was like ready to do it. I was up and running, and then unfortunately the power went out, and I think a transformer blew or something. I don't know, but it was a couple hours before the power came back on, and by that time I was like, okay, well, I guess there's going to be no stream today. It's unfortunate, but I'm going to have to do what I can, you know? And that's, being able to shift mindsets like that is an important tool. It's the important part of being flexible, even in such a rigid schedule as mine. And being able to be, like, mindful of what's the biggest rock for you to be concerned with that you can move out of the way. Maybe not the biggest rock that's there, but one that you can just and get it out of your way, you know? There you go. My daughter's starting to wake up. I love these cameras. It's totally cool. You can see them. You can talk to them. It's very high definition. Hopefully my camera will readjust to whatever it's doing. Let's see if I can... Oh, there it goes. So yeah, I know I've talked a lot about me in this stream. I feel like it was very punitive for myself. You know, there's going to be a lot of changes coming up, I feel like, when the time is right to do it. I'm thinking of different schedules that might work better for my stream to, you know, obviously get more exposure out to people and things like that. It'll be more consistent when my kids are feeling better, when Philip's back to school, you know, things like that. So that'll be that'll be helpful. And, you know, I just doing what I can to kind of get things out there. I'm going to be a little bit more active on social medias and things like that to try to get, you know, myself out there a little bit better. But yeah, anybody that's, you know, watching the streams or enjoying my content, listen, I have a suggestion box both on my About Me page and in my chat. So, you know, if you hit that suggestion box and just whatever you think I should play, whatever you think I should talk about. You know, it's open to you guys. It's a community of you guys. I have a Discord with a suggestion box. You know, all kinds of good stuff there. So that's how to get in touch with me. That's how to get everything going. If you go on my About Me page, it'll have like my health coaching stuff as well as my gaming stuff. I've been thinking about like merging them into the same accounts, but I don't think I want to do that quite yet. For me, it just works out better in my mind to have the separate entities for business purposes. So if you want to follow me on any of my social medias, it's Polymathic Dad at TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. For my health coaching social medias, it's Twitter is BAL Vitality LLC, and Instagram and Facebook is Balancing Vitality LLC. We're gonna do Monday through Friday. I don't think any time off is supposed to be scheduled for next week, so I'm gonna aim to keep it at the same time. Monday is probably gonna be. I have to see like when everything works out schedule wise, but Monday's stream is probably going to be back to 1:30, 1:45 to 3:30 ish. That'll be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday will be back to 9:30 in the morning. So yeah, Mental Magic Monday has been taking interesting twists. I don't know where I'm going to go with it this time, coming off of the weekend like I am. It's supposed to be themed around, tricks that I use to get myself together for anything that's been going on. Any stressful things, any positive things. It's just mentality tricks that I've learned, meditations and stuff like that, things like that. And it's games themed around either Magic the Gathering or Magic games in general. I don't really have like an exact bead on that, on what I want to include in that, but there's a lot of fun games you can do with Magic-y stuff. So that's Mental Magic Monday, and then Try Hard Tuesday is games that I suck at and that I try to play just to get better. Mostly it's a lot of first-person shooters. Sometimes it's like whatever, but mostly it'll be first-person shooter type things. Games that I enjoy, but I'm just terrible at for whatever reason. And it's also what you guys are having issues with. Is there anything you're stuck on? Is there anything you seem to be just kind of spinning your tires and they don't go anywhere? It's to get feedback from the community, to get help, things like that. So that's Try Hard Tuesday, and then we have Whacked Out Wednesday, where, like I said before, I've kind of found that Wednesday is like the top of the peak for most people, either on the upper peak or the lower peak. So, for me, for most people, you're off the weekend on Monday. You're getting into your workflow Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday, you're kind of at the peak of your work week, and you're starting to look at the weekend. And then Thursday, Friday is the drop off to the weekend. For me, it's the opposite, since I work on the weekends. For me, Monday, I'm coming off of work, and then I'm, kind of getting back into the flow of everything. Tuesday is kind of like a day where I just I'm still riding that into my routine. And then Wednesday, I'm there. I'm in my home routine. I'm on track. I'm getting my business stuff going, and just kind of rocking things out. And then looking to what I can do for the end of the week to get back into my workflow. So that's the theme behind Whacked Out Wednesday. And I usually play games. I've been playing Portal 2, but I just finished it this past Wednesday. So I'm going to be looking into different just wacky games that I can play. I might pick up Portal 1. So I might see how that goes. I don't know if I want to keep playing Portal right off the bat, but I got really into it, and yeah. I had a lot of fun with that. So, but there's a ton of games that we can play for that. And then we have Throwback Thursdays, which is playing old school games. I'm gonna be playing some first-person shooters. I'm gonna be playing some old Doom and Duke Nukem and all that good stuff. Some platformers, some fighting games, some whatever I remember from like my childhood, whatever you remember from your childhood. I'd like to try it. It's been Day of the Tentacle, and I think this, not yesterday, obviously. It was going to be Day of the Tentacle yesterday and finish it up, hopefully. But last week it was Worms Revolution, I think, because I used to love playing Worms when I was younger. And we talk about memories, you know, positive, negative, but, you know, memories in general, just things that, you know, you can reminisce about and have a good time, you know. And then there's Fix It Fridays, which we're doing today. Sometimes we're going to have talking streams, sometimes we're going to have IRL streams, and sometimes we're going to have, like, game-themed streams on Fix It Friday. I was actually looking into playing Scrap Mechanic today, but I figured just because of the flow of the week, just because I'm really so exhausted just mentally from all the illnesses and everything going on that you know, I figured it was just better to talk it out this week and talk about what I plan on fixing, which is mainly my perspective on things. You know, trying to see things in a positive light, like I read with that Missy Elliott quote, and I'm going to read it again before the end of the stream because I feel like it's very, very important to remember. But yeah, it's anything that you've been working on or you're looking to work on or you're trying to plan for the weekend. Fix It Friday is your day to get it out in the open, plan it out, and maybe get some ideas, some pointers on how to better execute it or start executing it in the first place. While I do stuff on stream, like 1 week I was fixing a bunch of drawers that were broken around the house, and you know, 1 week I was fixing stuff on my stream, and I was planning out stuff to go over for the weekend for the stream and stuff like that. Just figuring things out here and there. Today it was, like I said, about fixing my mentality going into the weekend, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. When this becomes a more permanent situation for me, I'm going to be incorporating Saturday and Sunday in some way. Obviously, I'm going to work in a day off or two here or there, but Saturday and Sunday I'll have more opportunities for stream time, I feel like. But we'll see where it goes. That's all in the future. Putting it out there into the universe so that it can happen. And, you know, my dream with this stream is to build a good, positive community of people that can support each other and people that can really help each other. And yes, this is about me and my expertise from multiple angles and being able to help you solve your problems, but it's about the community. It's about the community doing that. It's about, you know, I'm going to learn as much from you as you can learn from me. Maybe more, you know? And it's very important to get that community together and help each other out and bring back the human side of things, you know? Especially for parents. Parents are lonely. Parents can be very lonely folks. But yeah, so that'll be fun. And just trying to think if there's anything. I want to get into doing the meditation before it gets to be too late. And then it'll probably be the end of the stream. So let's just see about starting this up. I'm going to change this to... What was the name of it? Playne, not pain, Playne. Switch that up to Playne. Get these going. Just make sure that it, yeah, you hear my daughter coughing in the background. Make sure this is on. This is going to pop up with my GoPro, but hi. Let's lower that. There we go. Okay. So we're going to go back into story. Continue. Yes, I want to keep the fire. All right. Fox has something to tell you. I'm so happy that you have returned to Playne. Are you ready to continue your journey? Yes, I'm ready to continue my journey. My streak, my achievements, meditate. So we're going to try acceptance. That's that's a good theme for today. We did Playne meditation on Mental Magic Monday. We did Playne meditation with the guided audio, and we did these two on the same day, and then we did sensations Wednesday. So today we're going into acceptance. We'll do 10 minutes. We'll do bell 5. We'll do normal breaths. Sit up nice and tall. Feet on the floor or Indian yogic style. Just breathe. I would like to, before this cuts in, I would like to say something that I keep forgetting to mention every time that we do these meditations. So there's a practice in yoga called yogic breathing. And I found it very peaceful, even to just do that. It's one of the remedial, like very, very beginning steps of yoga. There's a trick to doing it if you have like a stuffy nose or if you're not feeling well. And it's called, I forgot what they called it. To me, it's yogic breathing. And basically you focus on breathing in through one nostril and out through the other. And when you start doing it, they'll allow you to just put one finger over one nostril. I think it's in through your left and out through your right. So you just, and you get into that feeling of breathing in through one and out through the other. Now, if you can do it without your hands, that's perfect. But there's a certain amount of time you do it for. I think it's about the amount of time that the warm up is. Excuse me. And if you have like a stuffy nose or chronic allergy symptoms or chronic sinus symptoms, you can do it kind of mindfully, which I didn't know that. So I never used to really try it before. You can do it so where you, if you have to open mouth breathe, you can just close your eyes and envision your sinuses. Like envision your sinuses, like especially in this area where it connects up to your forehead right there, and on the in-breath, just feel a cooling sensation running up your left nostril, and on the exhale, feel a warming sensation running down your right nostril as you're exhaling. And that's called yogic breathing. And what it does is it centers your mind on just your breathing and just that sensation and just that repetition. And it kind of sets your mind into like a lull state to be able to accept the meditation. So that's what I do it when I'm in these warm-ups. And every time I've done these warm-ups so far, I've meant to say something about that I'm surprised the game doesn't really touch on. But it's a good trick to help you guys, get into it. So take a sip and let's go. And don't forget to breathe with your diaphragm.
In this meditation, we're going to explore the nature of our awareness. All of us are aware constantly. There's no time when we're not aware. And what we experience through awareness is what our mind takes, and our mind defines it, describes it, and tells us whether what we're experiencing is good or bad. Awareness by its nature is open. It's a bit like a microphone that just takes in everything that's around it without recording it and without processing it. Awareness just experiences what's there. When we face discomfort in our life, our natural instinct is to run away from it or to solve it. Whenever we face anxiety, we want to not feel that anxiety. And it can end up in a vicious cycle where our desire to escape from something that causes discomfort will actually end up causing the discomfort. This is the nature of our mind, is to want to solve things, and it's doing it in the best interest of itself, which is to bring security and comfort. Close your eyes and allow your breath to fall back to its natural rhythm. Now bring to the surface an emotion that you feel uncomfortable with. It could be something in your life that is causing you some discomfort. It doesn't have to be big. It can be some small anxiety that you have, maybe some apprehension of something that's going to happen. Now this discomfort that you have brought to the surface, just be aware of it. And when you're aware of it, you're open to it. You're not trying to change it. You're not resisting it. You're just allowing it to be there. Awareness is a bit like a microphone. It just listens and takes in everything that's around it without processing it or changing it in any way. Now with awareness, just allow that discomfort just to sit with you and explore that discomfort with your awareness. Both discomfort and comfort, what we see as good and bad, at the base of it are feelings that we can sense, and it's these feelings that we are either resisting or we are pursuing. Just be aware of the feelings and just allow it to be there. Just allow this discomfort to sit with you. Don't try to push it away. Don't try to run away from it. All you are doing is just observing this discomfort. And to observe this discomfort just means to be aware of it. Just like how you were aware of the sensations of your breath before. How you were exploring the sensations before. Here, you're just going to explore this discomfort that is in your life. Without changing it, without resisting it, without trying to make it better. You're just allowing it to sit next to you, and you're just observing it. There are no feelings that's with you permanently all the time. Feelings always come and go like waves. But when we observe them, and when we see the discomfort that's there in our lives, without resisting it or pursuing it or changing it, when you just observe it, then the way these feelings influence you will change in time. Even here in this meditation, if you're trying to do it correctly, if you're trying to do this meditation in a way to get a result, then just be aware of that desire and allow that to just sit with you. Once that discomfort is no longer there, then just remain in that silence and either observe one of your sensations or just stay with that awareness. I'll leave you to complete the rest of the meditation. Remember, all you're doing is you're bringing forward something about your life that you find uncomfortable, and you're not tackling anything big, just something small, and you are exploring that discomfort with your awareness. In some ways, you're saying yes to that discomfort, you're being open to that discomfort. You're not changing it, you're not resisting it, you're not encouraging it, you're just allowing it to be there, and you're simply just being aware of it. And when that discomfort disappears, you can just remain in that silence. If you need further guidance, just check the on-screen instructions.
We are constantly invited to be what we are. Henry David Thoreau. Today I escaped anxiety. Or no, I discarded it because it was within me, in my own perceptions, not outside. Marcus Aurelius. You unlocked Win plus Story chapter. Your next unlock is Fireflies. What would you like to know? I want to know more about you. I am a fox. I am a guide. What else would you like to know? How did you get here? My home used to be in this beautiful pine forest. I wasn't much for staying home, so I used to spend days, sometimes weeks, just exploring the wilderness. Then one day, the wilderness became my home. How am I able to talk to a fox? Since I was first able to discover Playne, I became its guardian. As a guardian, I was given this ability to talk to anyone that wanders here so that I could guide them. So here I am, guiding you and guarding Playne. What are you guarding it from? Mostly just from fools. What do you do with fools? I gently and politely asked them to leave, like the last one who could sleep without closing her eyes. That was difficult. And when you ask them, they just leave? The fools always do. How do you know meditation? I was taught it. Who taught you? The foolish fool, of course. Does he have a name? Why did he teach you meditation? Or tell me more about this foolish fool. Yes, his name is the foolish fool. Tell me more about him. You must meditate more to find this out, my friend. Why did he teach you meditation? Because he knew that one day I would have to teach you. But why? He knew that you can undo the mistake he made. He knew that you can create what he destroyed. What did he destroy? Oh, just existence. This is why things don't grow? Yes, he destroyed time, and with it, everything stopped. How can my meditations bring growth back to Playne? Meditation shows you silence. Everything starts from silence. Everything is created from silence. As you explore the space from which everything is born, you'll begin to uncover the nature of existence. As your wisdom grows, Playne will grow. In silence we see joy. In silence we experience rejuvenation. Silence is wisdom. So meditation is a way to experience silence. Yes, do you know where you experience the most profound silence? The present moment. That's what I thought, but I didn't want to just, But how do my meditation bring balance back to Playne? With meditation, as your understanding of silence grows, Playne will grow. So keep meditating, Wanderer. I understand. I will continue meditating. My effort was, let's see. Last session, total thoughts was 11. And that's again because of the speaking, like my mind hones in on his voice. So I just concentrate on whatever he's, concentrating on. And with that, our meditation for the day is done. And I really like that game. I'm so happy that I found it. And I think it's interesting that you unlock things as you meditate. Like, it also gives you that gaming aspect of it, of like, here's something to accomplish. But yeah, I actually almost felt like I was like trancing out. Like I was kind of getting into this like sleep mode almost, where like I wasn't fully falling asleep, but I definitely felt like I could make that transition either to continue where I was or sleep, which partially probably me being exhausted, but also getting back into the meditative flow is easier for me, being that I'm very well trained in it. So I'm happy that we got this opportunity to talk about everything. I'm happy for those of us that are here and for those of us that will be here later on when this video goes to VOD. Hopefully you got something from this experience. I'm going to be ending the stream now. I have to get my kids up, get them lunch, get them their medicines and stuff like that, and do all that stuff before it's nap time for me. So thank you guys for coming out. Thank you guys for hanging out with me and experiencing this wilderness and sitting next to my bonfire. Oh, I guess it's over here. That's my alarm to go get Philip from school when he's there. But thanks for sitting next to the bonfire with me and hanging out and talking. Again, guys, the community is all about you. So the more people that join in the conversation, the more people that will get something from it. Check out my Discord. Check out my socials. Check out everything. Check it all out. Check it all out. It's all on my About Me page. I'm going to be working on some stuff over the weekend. But let me not keep you. Guys, enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the rest of your work day, if this is a work day for you guys. For those of us who work the weekends, have a great work weekend. I will see you guys Mental Magic Monday, 1:45. I will see you then. Bye now.